The Sumerians believed there was an ocean above the sky. Not clouds. Not stars. Not empty space. An ocean. A vast body of water pressing down on the solid dome of heaven from above. This is documented in cuneiform tablets. In the academic literature of ancient Near Eastern cosmology. Wikipedia's article on ancient Near Eastern cosmology, drawing on the work of scholar Francesca Rochberg, states it plainly. The basic understanding of the world included a flat earth, a solid layer above the sky, a cosmic ocean located above the firmament, and a region above the cosmic ocean where the gods lived. A cosmic ocean. Above the firmament. Above the dome. Above everything you can see when you look up at the sky. And the Sumerian tablets that describe this ocean, describe what is in it. The stars, they said, were not burning in empty space. They were floating in the ocean above the dome. And they were not alone in that water. Welcome to the Shadow Ancestral. Every episode on this channel is built from documented evidence. Museum collections. Academic translations. Sources you can verify yourself. Tonight we go above the sky. Into the ocean the Sumerians believed existed above the solid dome of heaven. Into what they documented as living there. And into the moment when that ocean broke through the dome, and what came with it. Subscribe right now if you are new here. Hit the notification bell. Every week on this channel we open something that should not have stayed closed. Now, let us look up. The Sumerian and Babylonian understanding of the cosmos had a specific structure. Documented. Verified. Academic. The TheTorah.com scholarly article, drawing on Mesopotamian academic sources, documents it with precision. There were two forms of the Apsu. The terrestrial Apsu, the underground freshwater ocean beneath the earth, the domain of Enki, from which all rivers and springs flowed. And the celestial Apsu, the waters above the heavens, a substrate in which the stars and planets floated. Two oceans. One below the earth. One above the sky. And between them, the dome. The solid firmament. Keeping each ocean in its place. The Wikipedia article on ancient Near Eastern cosmology, drawing on scholars including Rochberg and Horowitz, confirms the full structure. A flat earth. A solid dome above it. A cosmic ocean above the dome. And a divine realm above the cosmic ocean, where the gods themselves lived. 4 layers. Earth. Dome. Ocean. Divine realm. And in the ocean, between the dome below and the divine realm above. The stars moved. The planets moved. The moon moved. The sun moved. Not through empty space. Through water. Now we reach the moment that explains everything about what is in the ocean above the dome. The Enuma Elish, recovered by Austin Henry Layard in 1849 from the library of Ashurbanipal at Nineveh, describes what happened before the dome existed. In the beginning, there was only water. 2 primordial beings. Apsu, the freshwater. Tiamat, the saltwater. Their waters mixed together. And from that mixing, the gods were born. But the gods were noisy. Their activity disturbed Apsu's rest. And Apsu decided to destroy them. Enki killed Apsu first. Built his temple over his body. That temple became the Apsu. Tiamat, now alone, created an army. Monsters. Serpents. Dragons. 11 in total. With Kingu at their head. The gods were terrified. Enlil refused to fight. Anu refused to fight. Only Marduk stepped forward. And his condition, documented in Britannica, was absolute authority over the entire cosmic order. He fought Tiamat. Sent the winds to incapacitate her. Killed her with an arrow through the heart. And then, he split her body in 2. Britannica documents what happened next. From one half of Tiamat's body, Marduk formed the heavens, the dome, the solid sky. From the other half, he formed the earth. But Tiamat was not just a creature. She was water. Primordial saltwater. The cosmic ocean itself. When Marduk split her, he split the ocean. One half became the dome. But what was inside the dome, what remained inside Tiamat's body when Marduk formed the sky from her, was still water. The Enuma Elish describes it explicitly, documented in academic sources. He fixed the crossbar and posted guards. He commanded them not to let her waters escape. Guards. Posted specifically to prevent Tiamat's waters from escaping the dome. The ocean above the sky was Tiamat. What was left of her after Marduk split her body. And it was pressing against the dome, trying to get out, which is why guards were posted to hold it in. Now we reach the part of this story that most people who talk about the Sumerian tablets never discuss. When Marduk killed Tiamat, he defeated her army. But defeating is not the same as destroying. The Enuma Elish documents that Tiamat created 11 monsters to fight on her behalf. The Meshusu, the serpent dragon. The Basmu, the venomous snake. The Ushumgalu, the great dragon. The Lahamu, the hairy hero. The Yugalu, the big weather beast. The Uridimu, the mad lion. The Gurdablolu, the scorpion man. The Umudabrutu, the fierce storms. The Kulyalu, the fish man. The Kuzariku, the bull man. And Kingu, at their head. The general of Tiamat's army. Marduk bound Kingu. Took the tablet of destinies from him. Used his blood to create humanity. But the 11 creatures, the monsters Tiamat had formed from the primordial ocean, were not all destroyed. The cuneiform sources document that Marduk placed specific constellations in the sky as images of Tiamat's defeated monsters, so their forms would be visible as a permanent reminder of his victory. Think about what that means. The stars the Babylonians saw in the sky, the constellations they named and documented in the Enuma Elish across 70 cuneiform tablets, were the shapes of the monsters that had lived in Tiamat's body. The ocean above the dome still contained their forms. Floating in the celestial Apsu. Visible from below through the dome as the star patterns we still call constellations today. We are at the halfway point. And what comes next is the part most ancient history channels never get to. What the Babylonian astronomers, who documented the stars with more precision than any civilization before them, believed was actually swimming in the ocean above the dome. Not constellations. Not planets. Something else. Subscribe to the Shadow Ancestral right now. Every episode on this channel goes deeper than the last. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Now, into the water above. The Babylonians did not believe the moon moved through empty space. They believed it sailed. The Torah.com, in its academic analysis of Mesopotamian cosmology, documents this explicitly. The moon god Sin, also known as Nana in Sumerian, travels across the celestial Apsu in a boat. Not metaphorically. Not symbolically. A boat. In water. Above the dome. This is why the crescent moon, which the Sumerians and Babylonians depicted in their art constantly, was shaped like a boat. Because that is exactly what they believed it was. A vessel. Navigating the heavenly ocean. Above the solid sky. And the moon god was not alone up there. The Babylonian astronomers, documented in Wikipedia's article on Babylonian astrology, divided the fixed stars into 3 groups. The stars of Anu. The stars of Enlil. The stars of Ea. Each group assigned to a specific path across the celestial Apsu. 3 lanes. 3 divine territories. Across the ocean above the sky. The planets, 5 of them recognized, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Mercury, Mars, were believed to be gods themselves. moving through the heavenly water. On their own paths. With their own purposes. The entire celestial ocean, documented in 7,000 omens across the 70 tablets of the Enuma Elish, was not a backdrop. It was a populated realm. With gods navigating it. Monsters floating in it. And the compressed body of Tiamat forming its walls and floor. One of Tiamat's 11 creatures deserves specific attention. Because it did not stay in the ocean above the dome. The Meshusu. The serpent dragon. The most powerful of Tiamat's army. After Marduk defeated Tiamat, the Meshusu became his. Not destroyed. Not imprisoned. Claimed. The Ishtar Gate of Babylon, built by Nebuchadnezzar II around 575 BCE, still exists. Its reconstruction stands in the Pergamon Museum in Berlin. Covered in glazed blue tiles. Lions on the lower panels. And above them. The Meshusu. Tiamat's dragon. Now the symbol of Marduk. Repeated across every panel of the most famous gate in the ancient world. The creature that had lived in Tiamat's primordial ocean, before the dome existed, before the world was formed. Was decorating the gates of Babylon in the 6th century BCE. The Babylonians did not regard these creatures as purely mythological. The cuneiform omen tablets, translated across the 20th century by scholars at the British Museum, include omens about what happens when specific celestial creatures are observed in certain positions. As if the monsters were still up there. Still visible. Still moving in the ocean above the dome. Because according to the Cosmology, they never left. There is one Sumerian text that describes what the ocean above the dome looks like from inside it. The Etana myth. Documented in cuneiform tablets from multiple periods, versions found at Nippur, Ur, and Nineveh, now held in the British Museum. Etana was a king of Kish. He is listed in the Sumerian king list as, quote, the shepherd who ascended to heaven. His story describes how he flew upward on the back of an eagle, rising through the layers of the cosmos. As he ascended, the text records what he saw. The earth below him growing smaller and smaller. First, the sea appeared like a strip around the land. Then the land shrank to the size of a garden. Then to a ditch. Then to a canal. The Babylonian cosmology source, documented at historyandmyths.com citing the myth of Etana, describes this explicitly. From the sky the earth appears central, with the sea shrinking from pool to belt to canal, affirming land surrounded by water. Etana rose through 3 levels of divine realm, each one requiring him to fly higher. The text breaks off. We do not know what he found when he reached the ocean above the dome. The tablet is damaged at exactly the moment he would have entered the heavenly water. But the direction was clear. He was going up. Through the dome. Into the ocean above it. And whatever he found there, someone decided the tablet did not need to preserve. Marduk posted guards to prevent Tiamat's waters from escaping through the dome. That detail, documented in the Enuma Elish, is not decorative. It is a warning. The guards were necessary because the ocean above the dome was not passive. It was pressing. It was alive, in the sense that Tiamat had been alive, primordial, vast, and fundamentally hostile to the ordered world Marduk had built below it. The Atrahasis epic, which we covered in episode 3, describes what happened when the gods decided to let it through. The windows of heaven were opened. The guards stood aside. And Tiamat's waters, held back above the dome since the moment of creation, came through. The flood was not rain. It was the return of the primordial ocean. The ocean that had existed before the dome. The ocean that Marduk had separated from the earth below. Breaking back through the boundary that had kept the ordered world intact. And what the tablets describe coming through with the water, the darkness, the roaring like a bull, the fire from above, the gods themselves being frightened. Was not just water. It was everything that had been in the water. Tiamat's body. Her essence. The primordial chaos that had existed before creation. Coming back through the hole in the dome. Into the ordered world below. The guards that Marduk posted were there to prevent exactly this. And when Enlil made them stand aside, the ocean above the dome remembered where it had come from. And it came home. The next time you look at the night sky, remember what the Sumerians believed they were actually looking at. Not empty space. Not infinite darkness. The underside of a dome. Made from the body of Tiamat. Holding back an ocean above it. An ocean where the moon god sailed in a boat. Where the planets moved on 3 separate paths, the paths of Anu, Enlil, and Ea. Where the constellations were the shapes of the monsters that had fought Marduk at the beginning of creation. And where Marduk had posted guards, specifically to prevent what was in that water from coming back through. The Enuma Elish. The Atrahasis epic. The Etana myth. The Enuma Anu Enlil. All documented. All translated. All in museums right now. All describing the same ocean. Above the dome. Above everything you can see. If this video opened something in you, subscribe to the Shadow Ancestral right now. Leave a comment. What do you think the Sumerians were actually describing when they talked about the ocean above the dome? Cosmology? Memory? Something else? Share this with someone who has never thought about what might be above the sky. Next week, we go to the tablet that describes what the guards saw before the flood came through. What they reported to Marduk. What he said in response. And why, according to the documented texts, he chose not to stop it. The shadow has more to show you. Look up. Through the dome. Into the water.